Alright, welcome back to another Adobe Photoshop tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to design the squeeze page that you see on the screen right now. So the first thing that we need to do is create a new canvas to work on. So I'm going to go to File, New, and I'm going to create a canvas that has a width of 1100 pixels, a height of 1300 pixels, a resolution of 300, and you want your color mode to be RGB, 8-bit, and a transparent background. So the first thing that we're going to do is view actual size, and we're going to work on our background. So I'm going to use a blue background, and the background that I've selected is 12355D. I'm going to click OK, select the paint bucket tool, click, and now we have our background. So the first thing that we need to do is set our texture to a grain. As you can see, we have a grain texture. So the way that you do that is go to Filter, Texture, Grain. You want to make sure that the grain is selected. We're going to set the intensity to 7, our contrast to 30, and the grain type is going to be soft. And then once you have those set, just click OK. Now you can see that we have our grain background color, blue. Now the next thing that we need to do is create our box where our video is going to go. As you can see right here, this is where our actually our screenshot is going to go for the video that will be shown on the next page of the squeeze page. So kind of like a teaser image. So the way we're going to do that is make sure that you have rounded rectangle tool selected. You want to select your set your radius at 5 pixels. We're going to click in this area right here, hold down your left mouse button and drag over to get our video box. We're going to click our selector tool and move it to make sure that our video box is centered. The next thing that we're going to do is go to Layer, Layer Style, Color Overlay. Go to Blending Options. We want to make sure that our opacity is set to 100. We're going to go back to Color Overlay and select our color. I'm going to select the background blue, and then we're going to make it a little bit darker. You can see the color that I've used, so you can copy that color into Photoshop. Click OK, click OK again, and now we have our video box. So the next thing that we need to do is create our box for our opt-in form. So we're going to again select the rounded rectangle tool, and before we do this, we want to make sure that we have our opt-in box aligned with our video box. So to do that, we're going to use rulers. So you want it to make sure that you have rulers shown, and your rulers are on your left and top, and you want to make sure that that is selected. So you're going to left click on your ruler, hold down, drag over until it locks on to your video box, and we're going to do the same for the right side. So left click, drag over, and now we have our rulers. And what this is going to do is when we add our opt-in form, it's going to lock on to these rulers so that we have the same exact size width-wise as our video box. So below our video box, we're going to give a little bit of spacing. We're going to left click, hold down, and drag over. And we're going to make it about that size right there. Unclick. We're going to go to Layer, Layer Style. We're going to start with Blending Options. We're going to make sure our opacity is set to 100. We're going to click Color Overlay. We're going to select the color and make it the same color as our video box. So just click our video box. We're going to click OK. OK again. We're going to click our selector tool, right click, and now you can see we have our box for our opt-in form. So we don't need our rulers anymore, so what we're going to do is go to View, click Extras, and it's going to hide the rulers. So the next thing that we need to do is add our box for where the visitor will put in their email. So we're going to again click the rounded rectangle tool, click somewhere in this area right here, hold down the your left mouse button, and we're going to drag over, and we want to leave a little bit of space on the right so that we can put our submit button. So somewhere along those lines right there. So as you can see, we need to change the collar. We're going to go to Layer, Layer Style, Collar Overlay. We're going to click our collar and drag over to white. Click OK, click OK again. And now we're going to use the rulers again, so go to View, make sure that you have extras turned on. We're going to click the top ruler, left click, hold it, drag it down. It will lock on to your email box, and we're going to do it again for the bottom of the email box. Now we're going to click the rounded rectangle tool again, and somewhere in this area right here, leaving a little bit of spacing so that everything is equal, we're going to left click the mouse, hold down, and drag over to about right there. Okay, we're going to go to View, Extras, and hide our rulers. Click our selector tool. We're going to right click on the button, and I'm going to hit the right arrow key and move it over just a little bit. And I also want to move it down so that it's centered and we have the same amount of spacing above as we do below. We're going to right click our email box and move it down one so that it's aligned with the button. So the next thing that we want to do is stylize our button. We're going to right click our button, go to Layer, Layer Style, Collar Overlay. We're going to select our collar, and we're going to use an orange. So somewhere along those lines right there. If you want the same color, you can copy this color and use that. Going to click OK, click OK again, and the next thing that we need to do is add our text to our button. So we're going to click the text tool. We're going to change it to a white. We're going to click inside, and let's type watch now. Now we need to change the color or the size of this to fit in the box. We're going to highlight it and change it to 6 point. I'm going to click our selector tool and use our right arrow and our up arrow to center the text. Okay, so now the next thing that we need to do is our headline. So we're going to again click the text tool. I'm going to click somewhere in this area right here, and I'm going to make the text video. Learn how to design this squeeze page using Adobe Photoshop. Excuse me. Now, as you can see, we have a little bit of spacing here. We don't want that much spacing, so what we're going to do is first I want to change the size. So I'm going to change the size to somewhere around 8.5 points. 8.5. As you can see, it changed the spacing perfectly. If your spacing is not similar to this spacing, you can fix that by highlighting the text, clicking your character. You can go to Window, Character to open that, and you want your spacing to be 11 point. Okay, so now we're going to right click that text, and I'm going to use the arrow keys to align the text to make it center with the video. Okay, so once we have that done, now we want to change the color of some of the text. So we're going to highlight the video using the same orange we used for our button. So you want to highlight video, come up to the color palette and click the orange. We're going to hit OK, and we're going to do the same for design this squeeze page. Click the color, click orange, and now we have our headline completed. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is create our screenshot for our video. So what I'm going to do is hit Alt, print screen. I'm going to print this full screen. I'm going to go to File, New, click OK, Control V. I'm going to copy this entire screenshot, copy merged. Going to go back to my design, going to come over to rounded rectangle tool, and we're going to add another box inside of this box. You want it to align with this size, this edge right here, so we can use the rulers again. We're going to go to View Extras, going to click the ruler, drag it over, and align it with that side. We're going to do the same for the right side with the button. And now we're going to make sure that we have the rounded rectangle tool selected. Click in this general area right here, having the same spacing on the left and the top as well as the bottom. Somewhere along that line right there. We're going to go to View, Extras, Remove, make sure that everything is aligned. I'm going to right click and move it over to the left a little bit and a little to the top. Okay, so now that we have that box, the next thing we need to do is let's go back over to our image, edit, copy, merged. I'm going to go back over here and Control V. We're going to change the size by hitting Control T, holding Control and hitting T, now holding Shift and clicking in this area right here. We're going to hold Shift and our left mouse and drag down. Let go, click and hold. We're going to drag over so that it aligns with our box below. We're going to hold Shift again and click and pull this side over. Okay, going to click this icon right here, click Apply. Now we're going to right click and we want to select the layer behind our image. We're going to go to Layer, Rasterize, Shape. Now we're going to select our rectangle marquee tool, highlight this area, click our selector. We're going to use our right arrow on our keyboard so that we can select that area. And now we're going to go to Layer, or Select, Inverse. Now we want to make sure that we have this image selected. We're going to right click, select the layer 2, and hit Delete. And now what that has done is trimmed the image to the size of the box that we created below. So what we're going to do is select Shape 5. We're going to go to our Layers palette and we're going to drag it to the top. Okay. Next thing you want to do is go to Layer, Layer Style, Color Overlay, and we're going to change this to pure black. Click OK. Go to your blending options and we're going to drag the opacity and make it dark. Somewhere around 78% opacity. We're going to click OK. Now the next thing that we want to do is create our play button. So we're going to select the ellipse tool, click somewhere in this area, hold Shift to keep your dimensions by dragging down somewhere along that size. and you want it to be white. So if yours is not white, right click it, go to Layer, Color Style, or Layer Style, Color Overlay, and make sure that you have it selected to white. Click OK. We're going to go over to blending options, and we're going to change the opacity. Let's make the opacity about 8%. Hit OK. Now we want to right click our circle and make sure that we have it somewhere in the center. We want it somewhere in the center of the image, so you can use your arrows to move your circle somewhere close to the center. Next thing we're going to click is our ellipse tool right here, this icon. Hold down and then custom shape tool, and you want to click, you'll have to go to all, and it'll show you all of these different icons and images, and you want to click this one right here. We're going to come over here, left click your mouse, and drag over, make and the image looks similar to this, like a pyramid. It also needs to be white. We're going to go to Edit, Transform, rotate 90 degrees clockwise. We're going to click it and center it. Then we're going to go to Layer, Layer Style, Blending Options, and we're going to change the opacity somewhere around 12 to 11%. Click OK. Now right click, and as you can see, we now have our squeeze page design pretty much done. So basically the only thing you need to do from here is have your squeeze page, if you actually do want to use a squeeze page, have it coded in HTML. I may shoot a video tutorial on how to do that. It's actually pretty simple. If you like this Photoshop tutorial, be sure to check out my website in the description, where I've done quite a few different tutorials. I've done a couple tutorials on creating navigation bars, buttons, hover buttons, squeeze pages, landing pages. So again, just click the click the link in the description, and I'll see you on another tutorial. Have a good day.